Hey guys, welcome to Neptune Design. I'm Devin and I trust that you guys are having an awesome day so far today. And today I want to talk about social media and I want to talk about specifically how to generate leads on social media. Now, this is a topic that's been very close to my heart, and I'm sure if you're in business, social media is just a confusing thing. Do you go after likes? Do you go after posts? Do you go after followers? Do all of those things mean anything if no one's buying your product or your service? Or you might have social media accounts that are blowing up right now. You might have all of the followers in the world, all of the likes in the world, but you're just not getting people to buy your specific product. So how do you do it? How do you actually go about generating leads on social media? And what I'm going to do today is I am going to keep this conversation at a high level. I'm going to give you a framework that you can work on. I am basically going to give you a strategy and show you some of the methodologies that we apply and some of the systems that we apply so that you can kind of make sense of social media. Now, this template will be available at the link below after the talk is over, of course, and there are a couple of links in the description below as well if you want to support the channel. And obviously, if you have any questions that you want to ask after I've done this sort of presentation or sort of strategy topic with you guys, you're more than welcome to ask in the comment section below. Okay, so how do we go about generating leads on social media? Before we do that, I think it's important that we also take a look at why it's important to be on social media. Now, 54% of social browsers use social media to research products. So what that means is if your company is not on social media, you're not even in the conversation. You're not even being considered. The shoppers are there, the money's there. There wouldn't be money being spent on social media if people weren't making money from social media. But how do we actually build a plan that's going to help us to get those followers, those likes, and eventually get those sales? Okay, that's what this presentation is about. Okay, second fact, 49% of consumers depend on influencer recommendations on social media, which means the people that are being followed on YouTube, the people that are being followed on Twitter, their opinion matters and people listen to what they say. They buy what they buy. Why? Because they're kind of like modern day heroes, and the money goes wherever the attention is. And if you look at the last stat, it says that an average user spends about 2 hours and 22 minutes on social media per day. So if you're trying to call your clients, you're still using the old school cold calling method and emailing methods and all of those sort of things, the cold emails and stuff like that, and you're not getting a response, guess what? It's because your clients are on social media. And if you don't have a presence on social media, if you don't have any pages on social media, and if you're not getting any attention on social media, technically, your business is not doing as good as it could be. So I know it's a painful subject. I know it's something that you feel like you should hire a young person, put them in the corner, tell them they're in charge of social media and leave it all up to them. But as the CEO, as the head of your organization, you need to understand social media so that you can see if the people that you have working on social media are actually getting you results or if they're just posting without a plan. And we want to talk about how to develop a plan that's going to help you. And I'm kind of going to give you a action plan, or I'm going to give you a methodology that you can think about in your own time every time that you post on social media. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Devin Thomas. I work for Neptune Design. I am the founder of Neptune Design and I am a Google certified digital marketer. I've been doing this from 2016. So I hope you learn from all of my valuable mistakes that didn't feel that much valuable at the time when I was struggling to understand all of the social media stuff, because it's really a lot to take in. What platform should you be on? What's a good post? What's a bad post? Should you get a graphic designer? Does it matter if you're gonna post somebody and 100 people are gonna like it and nobody's gonna buy your product? Should you be on Twitter? Should you not focus that much on Twitter? Should you instead focus on LinkedIn, because a lot of businesses are on LinkedIn, but when you post on LinkedIn, you don't get that much engagement. Have you been spending on Facebook ads, but you're spending on Facebook ads, but the money is not flowing back like the money is flowing out of your account? What what is the final goal? What is the outcome? How do we actually make money from the social media thing instead of just posting and advertising aimlessly and trying to connect the dots and people are just not buying? Okay, so we're gonna start off very simple, and I want you to ask yourself, what is your overall marketing goal? What is the thing that you are trying to get? Do you wanna, and you have to be specific at this stage, are you earning $1,000 from social media and you'd like to turn that into $10,000 from leads of social media? Are you earning absolutely nothing from social media at the moment and you're just trying to get a grasp of what it is that your company needs to do to really engage and get into the game, basically? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set your baseline. What your baseline is it is just your current results. It is what you are getting from social media right now. Now, some of you might say, but Devin, how do we measure that? How do we know that this client is coming off of social media? Or how do we know that the sales we have are connected to social media? And there's two very simple ways to do that. Number one, just ask. Ask the clients. Every time you get a call, how did you find out about us? Did you research us? Did you search Google? Were you on Facebook when you heard about us? How did you actually hear about us? So number one is very simple. Just ask your clients. Another thing that you can do is you should, if you're watching this presentation, you should have Google Analytics set up on your website. Or if you don't, I would highly advise you to get in touch with us and let us set up Google Analytics for you, or any of your IT guys or IT people, whoever you employ, let them set up Google Analytics for you. What Google Analytics will do is it'll help you understand where your website traffic is coming from, and that'll help us understand what you need to do and where you need to focus your marketing efforts on. Okay, so first thing we need to do is we need to set our baseline, our current results. Second thing we need to do is we need to focus on our expected target. What's our expected target? What are we actually trying to achieve? Some people might say that they just want to get to 10,000 followers on Twitter. And that's a noble goal, but what does it actually mean? How does that help your business by getting to 10,000 followers on Twitter? Or is it more like if you get 10,000 followers on Twitter, you will be in a better place PR wise? I can understand that. Or you would just feel better about your numbers. So you could do that as well. But what is your expected target? What are you trying to get out of your specific marketing efforts? Okay. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to look at a measurement metric. So with likes and follows, it's pretty easy. You would look at your page and you would just look at your likes and your follows. But if anybody is watching this and they're thinking to themselves, instead of me doing all of this hard work, why don't I just go on the dark web or somewhere and just pay somebody just to give me 10,000 fake followers? You can most definitely do that. There's no problem with that. But the problem with that is if you, well, I just said there's no problem with that, but you guys know what I mean. If you go somewhere and if you go and pay for followers, and you now have your 100,000 fake followers on your page. If those followers aren't engaging with your brand, you will quickly be found out, and people will quickly see that you are not really as successful as you want to put yourself out there to be. So that's why it's important for us to go through this step and go through a strategy behind it, because at the end of the day, I want you to be consistent in your efforts. I want you to be successful at social media, but success is pointless unless we can repeat it. So unless we know what got us the followers, the likes, and the sales, and we learn how to implement a strategy or a system that helps us to repeat it constantly, we'll never be able to repeat success, and we'll never be able to call that true success. Success should be something that's reliable. It should be something that we can go after every day. We know exactly what to do to generate the new levels of success that we need. So try and set a target that is financial, or try and set a target that has to do with customer engagement. Likes and follows, those are vanity metrics. I mean, you could have one YouTube video with 1 million views, yay for you, but if you're not making any cash off of it, it's really not that it's really not that crucial in business, because we want to go after our key metrics. We want to grow our customer base. We want to earn more revenue. We want to spend less on marketing, crucially. So try and set metrics that are realistic. Now, some of you might be saying, but Devin, if I've never achieved anything, how will I know? How will I know if I need 100 followers or 1,000 followers? And I'm glad you asked that. What we're going to do is we're going to set just a, a sort of like a target that we would like to hit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to measure how that target has impacted our business processes. And that's why I want you to go and get analytics, because with analytics, you can say that we've reached 1,000 followers on Facebook right now. And from that 1,000 followers, 30 people have bought our product. And because those 30 people have bought our product, that equated to a real world figure of 30,000 US dollars or 3,000 US dollars. So now we have a metric in place that says for every X amount of followers that we get X amount of cash. And now that is something like a little ratio that we can work on and that we can keep on improving. Okay, so by when would you like to reach this goal? Now, some people would like to say, Devin, I'd like to get 1 million more followers, and I'd like to do that in a week. And I would also like to get 2 million likes for that. And I would also like to bump up my sales by 5 million US dollars. Yes, you can easily do that in today's modern connected world. But the bad news is, to get those millions of followers, you are going to have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not just going to come tomorrow. You can't just shoot something and it goes viral and everything just works out. There's no recipe. If you're in this presentation right now and you're looking for the fast, quick shortcut, I'm sorry, there's none that I know of. And if there was, I'd be using it now. This is a slow, deliberate process so that we can understand what we're doing with social media, and so that we can build a system that works for us. This is what this workshop is for. So if you want the fast, quick shortcut, unfortunately, I don't have it for you. But the good news is this is easy, and anyone can do this. Okay? So when would we like to reach this goal? I would say let's try and aim for about 90 to 180 days, about a quarter or half a year. That would be a good period to look at reaching your goals. And look, I'm not setting any limits on you guys. You guys are at different levels. You guys know what success means to you, what failure means to you. So I'm not going to put any expectation on you guys right now. But I would say look at about 90 to 180 days to meet this goal. Okay, so now we've We've got our goal, we've got our vision, we've got our idea of what success looks like. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty. Okay. So the first thing we need to talk about is we need to talk about the buyer's journey. We need to talk about who our buyers are, and we need to talk about what stages they go through. Okay, so the buyer's journey is the process buyers go through to become aware of, consider, and evaluate and decide to purchase a new product or service. Okay, so we talk about the awareness stage, and the buyer realizes they have a problem. Consideration stage, the buyer defines their problem and researches options to solve it. So let me give you an example. Okay, so if I'm researching to buy a camera, or if I'm considering to buy a camera. As a matter of fact, I am, because I am busy trying to build my new YouTube studio. So if I'm considering to buy a camera, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to research what is the uh, best DSLR, I think it's DSLR camera for under $500. Okay, so I'm showing you guys a practical example. Now I get all of this information. This is part of the buyer's journey. This is where the confusion comes in. I got all of these cameras now. How do I know which one is the right one to choose? Right. This is not going to help me out. All of these ads are not going to help me out. And that is where most of the companies don't get it. You're spending money on ads, but you are not educating your client base. You are not educating your customers. And that's why you are losing so much, because no one knows you, no one trusts you, and you don't have the authority. Yes, you appeared number one on the search results, and yes, this does matter. And if it is a not instinct driven purchase, what's the word? Not instinct driven purchase. If this is an emotional purchase, if this is just somebody who needs a camera and they need it tomorrow, yes, you win that all day, every day. You will win that game. But what if you have a more considered buyer? What if you have a guy who he wants to make sure he's making the right decision? He wants to make sure that he is going to buy a camera that works for the long term. Because, like all of us, we want to know that we're going to put our money into the things that basically last long, and basically we made the right choice. We all want to know that. We want to know that we made the right choice. And now, if I go down here, it says 5 best DSLR cameras under $300. And here, there's a whole bunch of videos as well. So what all of us will do is we're going to watch the videos, we're going to read this article or this blog article, and we're going to keep on reading and reading and watching until we feel confident enough to go back here and make a purchase. Okay, so that is basically the buyer's journey. And this buyer's journey could happen on Google, it could happen on YouTube itself, where I could search best DSLR cameras for 2019. This journey could happen in YouTube itself. It could happen on Facebook. It could happen on Twitter. It could happen in all of these places. This is the buyer's journey, and this is the part that most people don't get. I took you through a short example of the buyer's journey. And what you guys need to understand, especially you guys with online stores and e-commerce stores, is that I read a statistic that said only 3% of first time visitors to an online store or e-commerce store buy. And what do I see each and every single day? I see guys throwing more and more money at Facebook ads, at Google ads, at Twitter ads, and when the traffic comes, they get a poor return on advertising spend, or it's nowhere near what they were expecting, because they think the more that they advertise, the more that people will buy, and there is a lot of truth to that. But the main problem is not the fact that the people aren't aware of you and your store and the goods and services that you offer. The problem is there is so much choice. There is so much choice. There are probably 100 stores online, maybe even 5,000 stores online that offer whatever it is that you're offering. And the problem, some people might say it's a niche thing, and yes, that is true to an extent. But the main problem is that nobody knows you. If you're throwing away $1,000 a month, or $10,000, or $100,000 a month, and you're only seeing a 3% return, that doesn't help you. And pretty soon you're going to give up on Facebook ads, you're going to give up on LinkedIn ads, you're going to give up on Twitter ads, and you're just going to be confused and you're going to think that social media doesn't work. The reason why social media is not working for you is because no one knows you. And if no one knows you, no one is going to go out of your way to support you or your products. So people might say to me that, Devon, but I'm advertising so people will get to know me. No, you're not. You're just telling somebody, hey, come to my store. I sell this. So they go. They look at your store and they go like, oh yeah, that's nice. I'll save it under my favorites tab and then I'll come and look at it again in a year or 6 months time or Christmas time. So it really doesn't help you when somebody does that, especially when you're paying for the ads. So we need to understand what are the stages in the buyer's journey. Okay. So the first stage in the buyer's journey is C. This is one of my favorite stages because it's when you're Instagram and you're just scrolling through posts. Like what I do in the morning when I wake up, first thing before I even brush my teeth is I go onto Instagram and I just swipe up and I just scroll and scroll and I see there's a new Bugatti and there's a new this and there's a new that. So that is where the buyer encounters the need or the problem for the first time. Now, when we say need or problem, this could also be a want. So, for example, I'm on Instagram, I see this beautiful pair of Air Jordans, or I see this beautiful pair of sneakers, and I think to myself, I have to have those sneakers. That could also be part of the seeing phase, whereby I see something that I want and the next day I wake up and I can't stop thinking about those beautiful sneakers that I saw on the Instagram post. I don't know who, what, why, or where, but now all of a sudden I've got this itching need and I must have those sneakers. All of that is part of the seed stage. Okay. And I think most of you guys with online stores or businesses, I think most of you guys have that part. You guys understand that part extremely well because you're advertising. That means you know that people need to see you, they need to see your services to buy them. So that's the C stage, okay? The second stage is the part where the client is actively gathering information because they want to make the right choice. And this is the part where most businesses drop the ball because most businesses don't understand what's in it for them. What is the point of us producing all of this content, producing all of this stuff if no one's going to buy? But this is actually where you need to be. You need to be at stage two because this is where the magic happens. The think stage is where the buyer actively is gathering information. He's looking for guides. He's looking for what sneakers to buy. He's looking for what type of couch best fits his home setup. He's looking for information on software that he wants to purchase, and he wants to know what are the features of the software and how do they compare to the other software. This is the think stage. This is where the buyer is gathering stuff, information or data, and he is basically trying to say, after this stage, I'm ready to buy, but I need to go through this stage. And the magic that I'm going to show you is how we get into the think stage. Okay, so that's the think stage. Okay, everybody got that. Let's move on to the do stage. The do stage is where the client actually purchases the solution that will best suit their needs, right? Keyword, best suit their needs, not the solution that you're selling to the customer. What the customer ends up choosing will always be something that best suits their needs, or it will be the product that they are more comfortable with purchasing. Okay, so that is the do stage, and the do stage is extremely important. That is where you make your money. But most of you also have the do stage sorted out, and the care stage is important because if that client goes back and they now have a pair of sneakers and they now post their pair of new sneakers onto Instagram, that causes the chain reaction again. So somebody says, oh wow, I bought these sneakers from Neptune Design, just to give you an example. I bought these sneakers from Neptune Design and these sneakers are so amazing. They take a photo and all of their friends like it, and all of a sudden their friends want those sneakers too. So then we go all the way back to the C stage, and then the cycle starts from all over again. Okay? So some of you have been taught about a sales funnel. I prefer to think about this like a sales circle. It's a virtuous self-sustaining circle. Okay, so those are the buyer journey stages. And obviously, if you have any questions about this, you're more than welcome to comment on the video below or get in touch with us. Our contact details are below. Okay, so I hope I'm not boring anyone at this stage. I'm just going to move on. Okay, now let's talk about buyer personas. Okay, who is the person that's actually buying from us? And it's important for us to understand this because we need to make up a buyer persona. And some people would say, but Devin, this is marketing stuff. I shouldn't be, I'm a business owner. I'm about figures. I want to generate leads. I want to, trust me, as an entrepreneur, as somebody whose job it is to put food on the table for yourself, for all of your employees, this is something that you need to know, because if you don't understand fully what the needs of your buyers are, how are you going to tailor your product to meet those needs? How are you going to match those needs? That's why buyer personas are so important. Okay, so buyer personas are a semi-fictional representation of your ideal customer based on market research and real data about your existing customers. Now, some of you might say, but Devin, how I've never made a buyer persona before. How do I do it? Well, first thing you need to do is just make one up. Make up an idea of your ideal customer. What type of person they'll be like? What do they like doing? Where do they find themselves? And then what you do is you start gathering the data on customers that have bought from you before, and you start to look at the gaps in what you think your ideal client is, and where your client and the be. Let me start from over. What you need to do is you need to make up the first buyer persona. After that, you need to look at real data from customers that you've already sold to, and you need to see if your representation matches the behaviors of customers that have previously bought from them. And somewhere in the middle, that's where your ideal buyer persona lies. Okay? Now, what do we know about buyer personas? Okay, I didn't put the income level here because for me it's a no-brainer. Your buyer should be able to easily afford whatever product or service you're selling, but you're more than welcome to put your income there. There are a lot of specific ways to do buyer personas. I am just going to give you a brief overview because I'm doing this not to bore you guys. I just want to talk to you guys on a strategic level, just so that we get to understand this whole social media thing. So I don't want to dive deep into anything, but if you do want me to dive deep on it, just leave a comment below and I'll be more than happy to do that. Okay, so here's an example of a buyer persona. Maria is a 41-year-old e-commerce store owner. She sorry, it says sell, but it's supposed to say she. She has a lot of traffic to her store via on Facebook ads. Her store sells organic brownies, but after all of that traffic, still no sales. Okay, Maria needs to turn her traffic into real store clients. She also needs to educate people on the benefits of eating organic. Okay, she spends most of her time looking online for new recipes and watching foodie type channels on YouTube. Okay, so what our buyer persona tells us where on the buyer journey we're going to find this specific lady. What type of content do we need to produce for? We need to produce content that matches Maria's needs so that Maria comes back and she comes to us at the think stage and she actually considers us when she makes her final decision. Okay? So I need to understand what Maria's problems are. Number Maria's number one problem is getting more leads for her business. That's her number one problem. Okay. So I need to produce content for her that helps her get more leads for her business, which is the very reason why some of you are watching my video right now is I'm producing content that appeals to you because this is a problem that you have in your life. Okay. Number two, she needs to get a higher return on investment for ads. She's not getting the right type of investment for her ads, or she's not getting the right type of return for her ads. Number three, she needs to educate people on the better benefits of buying her product. Okay, so if I was to make content for Maria, these would be my pillar topics. These would be the things that I would build my content around. I would make blogs about this stuff. I would make videos about this stuff. I would make tutorials about this stuff. I would make a whole lot of posts about this stuff on social media. I would create as much content as possible around these three topics so that I could attract Maria as a customer. So we don't want to produce content. You don't want to go out there and produce content that says how great you are. You want to produce content that helps somebody solve a problem so that when they get to the decision stage, they want to buy from your business because you help them out so much. Okay, so let's talk about content strategy. Content strategy is just a simple way of putting all types of content posts, unique posts, graphics, infographics, blog posts. It's structuring them so that they all flow together, they all complement each other, and they attract our buyer, they attract Maria. All we're trying to do with our content is we're trying to attract the specific person, our ideal client. We want to attract that person. So you need to ask yourself, what type of content do I want to produce so that I can attract my ideal client? Okay. Now the content that you produce should do three things. Okay. Number one, you need to address the client's pain points. You need to address whatever the client is having trouble with in their life. You cannot start your content out with, we are so great. We do this and this and this, and we are successful in this, and we do that, and we do this, and we do that, and we do this. No, you would address whatever the problems are with Maria. So if Maria's problem is generating leads in her business, your content should be about generating leads in your business. If Maria's problem is how to shoot videos, your content should be about how to shoot the perfect video for your business. Always address the client's pain points. It's not about you, it's about your clients, it's about trying to get them at a better place in life. Okay, so address the client's pain points. Second thing, relevant subjects and interests. Now, I see a lot of blog posts out there and a lot of people doing this SEO. And I love SEO. There's no real problem with SEO, but my problem is when you use SEO as your sole, and sorry, for those of you who don't know, SEO is your search engine optimization. Okay? It's basically optimizing the search engine so that the search engine will basically spit you out first in the search results on Google. Search engine optimization. And it's optimizing all of your content to do so. But the problem that I have with a lot of people is they think SEO is it. Like, if you have SEO and your content is getting there first, you win. No, because if your post or blog or your video doesn't actually help anyone and the advice on there is not actionable and they can't actually use what you've just taught them, then you're not helping anyone. So you need to stay relevant with your subjects and your interests. You need to stay relevant and you need to talk about the pain points and you need to stay on topic with what you're discussing. You can't be all over the place. You can't have a blog post about ice cream and the next blog post is about a couch and the next blog post is about Donald Trump. All of those things don't match. You have to be relevant and you need to stick to topics that your clients are interested in. Now, some of you might be asking, but Devin, how will I possibly know that? How could I read people's minds? And how would I know that what they want me to post or what they want me to blog about? It's easy. That's very easy. You write 10 posts or you do 10 videos or you write 10 articles, and whatever the feedback is from that, whatever people say about that, you work on that feedback and you talk to those people in the comment section and you find out exactly what type of problems they're having and what you need to produce next, what content you need to make next, so that your topics stay relevant. Now, I'll give you a quick one. I had one of my videos lately, I think it was a marketing video, and some guy replied on the comment section and he said, Devin, I need help. And I said, what do you need help with? He said, I only have $70 and I don't know a single thing about Google Ads. And I need you to make a video about that because I don't understand, what to do on Google Ads. And that is in the pipeline. It's something that I'm going to probably be making next week. But now I've got a topic for my next content. And now I know that there are people out there who only have $70 or $50 to spend on Google Ads. And they just want to know like what to do and how do you get $70 to go the furthest way possible on Google Ads. So now I've got a topic. I'm happy. My client's happy because they're going to get content that helps them with their problem. And eventually, once they get tired of spending money and running their own ads, they're going to come back to me and they're going to say, hey, Devin, you helped me out so much with that video. Would you mind running my company's ads for us? Because I've got a lot more to spend and I trust you. That's why you have to stay relevant and stay on topic. Okay, last one. Give away your secrets for free. Okay, so you've got a lot of content being uploaded to YouTube every second. You've got thousands of millions of posts being uploaded onto Facebook every second. You've got Twitter, thousands of tweets, millions of tweets. How do you stand out? How do you stand out in this crazy mobile landscape? How do you stand out? You stand out by giving your best secrets away for free. Okay? This strategy course that I'm doing with you guys now, this is a paid course. This is a strategy workshop that I run through companies with. This is something that I'm selling, but I'm giving it away for free. Why? Because I know that somewhere out there, this will be useful to someone, and I know that somebody will remember me for this because the other strategy guys, the other guys who do this, they don't want to do this. They want to keep back. They want to hold back all of the best content, and somehow, some way, they're going to help people, but only if people pay them. I don't think that way. I think in terms of abundance. I know that if I give out to people, eventually what's going to happen is people will start seeing me as an expert, an authority on the matter, and more people will come. And those people will gladly pay for my services. Why? Because they already know what they're getting. So, try and give away your best secrets for free. I know you're saying, but Devin, this doesn't make sense. I know. Just try it. Just try it. Let's go. Let's do a 90-day challenge. For 90 days, give away your best stuff for free. If you're a doctor, give away medical advice for free. If you're an accountant, sit down and show exactly what you do to help people out with their taxes. Show them your tricks. Show them your skills. If you're a graphic designer, go out there and show people how you design a logo. Show people the software that you use. Show people the techniques that you use to check and show people how you present your logos. And I guarantee you, When you give away your best stuff, you will stand out. Why? Because everyone else is keeping their cards to their chest. Everybody else is trying not to give away their best stuff. Everybody else is trying to be famous, but they not really trying to give out their best information. Give out your very best information for free, and you can take the challenge yourself in 90 days. Come back and tell us. Tell us if it worked, or tell us if it didn't work. But don't hold back with your target audience. Do not hold back because people respond to generosity. Okay, so you're saying that we're going to take our content and we're going to distribute it. Now, how do we distribute it? We can do it via paid ads. We can do it via blogs. We can do it via video vlogs. We can do it via infographics. We can do it via courses that we give away. We can do it all of these ways and make sure it's accessible on all devices. What you basically want, I'm going to give you guys the ideal deal scenario. What you want to do is you want somebody to type in, for example, you want somebody to type in graphic design onto YouTube and you want to appear in the search results. You want somebody to type in camera advice and you want to appear on top in the search results. But you want to be able to do that in an organic way, or you can use paid ads as well, but you want a mix of them. You don't want to rely only on paid ads because the problem is with a paid ad is there's no chance for us to build a relationship with a client there. So you need all of these mixes together and you need to put it in a way that everything flows together. You need your paid ads, you need blogs, you need vlogs, you need infographics, you need courses. Now, a lot of people were saying, but Devin, you said that ads were bad. No, we can't rely on just ads. If you have just 100% ads in your marketing mix, in your content distribution, no, you're not going to get very far. What you need to do is you need to have a balanced approach on all formats and you need to really cover the subject properly. And unfortunately, ads at this very moment, they don't allow us to do that. They just help us to get those initial clients, but they don't really help us to build momentum and really create a community around what we sell. Okay, so all of this stuff is fine and well. You're probably saying to yourself, Devin, this is a lot to take in, but how do I know that this is actually going to work and how am I actually going to make money after doing all of this free work? Because these videos that you're telling me to do, they cost money. The post that you're telling me to do, I'm not a graphic designer. I have to pay somebody to do it. The blog, I have to pay a professional writer to write it. I have to do all of these things. And it's going to take a lot of time out of my business. And I'm not sure if this is actually worth it. Is the stuff that you're teaching worth it? How am I actually going to make money off of once I'm done with all of this? It's not like people are just going to be swiping in the comment section. Like, how do I actually make money from giving away all of this free stuff? I'm giving away my best stuff. I'm giving away my time. I'm not spending time out there canvassing customers. I'm not talking to customers. I'm not closing deals. I'm not getting money in the company bank account. How am I actually going to make money if I'm giving away everything for free? Well, it's basically like a reverse principle. So what's going to happen is because you've given away all of this stuff for free, because you've got all of this content out there where you're talking about the client's problem. And remember, the content lives on forever. This is not an investment that will die soon. If I make a video, if I upload that video on YouTube, if it's a helpful video, it's going to help people in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, in 20 years' time, if the topic stays relevant, of course. But that video, I never have to pay for or advertise again. So everything you're investing money on right now, the blog posts, the videos, the tutorials, all of this money you're investing, you don't have to reinvest again. You don't even have to advertise it after it starts gaining momentum. Why? Because people will find it. They'll say, wow, this really helped me. Let me share it with my 10 friends. And guess what? Now you've got your customers doing your advertising for you. So it's a lot of work up front, but you are going to make money from this. Okay? How are you going to make money from this? Remember, we talked about the buyer stage. We talked about how they see they have the problem, how they think about the problem. They start gathering data to make sure that they sort out the problem, or to make sure that they make the right choice. And then we talked about the do stage. The buyer wants to purchase, and after that we talked about the care stage. Well, my friend, here's the good news. Because you've put in your content, because you've got your blog posts, because you're everywhere now, you control the buyer stages. Isn't that a cool idea? You are now in full control of the buyer stages because you've done the work. The client will see your products that you're selling. They'll see them on Instagram, social media, they'll see them all over the place, right? They'll think to themselves, wow, I want something like that. When they go to the think stage, they'll encounter your business again and they'll say, wow, here's this business telling me about their product and they're telling me about all the features and they're addressing my needs and they're also educating me on my product. Oh my gosh, these guys are awesome. I actually want to buy from these guys. Why? Because they're basically doing my work for me. They've done the research, they're comparing their products with another company's products, and they're showing me that their product is actually a better product. Wow. Okay. And then we go on to the do stage. Now the customer is still buying from you. Why? Because you've controlled these two phases. This is where you build the trust. The client has no problem with buying from you now. Absolutely no problem with buying from you now because you control the two stages. And now they go, they post on, they share with their friends, and they all buy together. Okay, so let me give you an actionable tip that you can do today. If you're driving traffic to your website, you're using ads to do it, create a landing page, get an email marketing form capture, get an email newsletter, produce something free that somebody will have to give you an email address for. Okay? Free guide, free sample, free video course, free whatever. Make sure it's free and make sure that you get the customer's email address. And once you do have the client's email address, then you can work on the think stage whereby you keep on giving the client content, giving the client free content, giving the client free content, giving the client free content. What you're doing is you're feeding the need for that person to purchase something from you. And eventually, once that purchase has thought about it enough and they've gathered enough information and they're ready to pull the trigger, guess what? That person's already on your emailing list. And now, for them to take action, it's just as simple as clicking the link to your latest mail that you've sent them, and all of a sudden, you've got a paying customer. And that is how you make money off of social media, and that is how you generate leads from social media. Once you control the traffic, you no longer have to pay Google for the traffic. You no longer have to pay Facebook ads for the traffic. You no longer have to pay Reddit or LinkedIn for the traffic. Once you have that client's email address and you've built that email database up, remember these are all people interested in what you have to sell. All of them. Not one person on the email address is just there just for the sake of being there. Why? Because you're producing content that is focused, that only appeals to a certain person. And that's where you get your leads from. And then you sit back, you relax, and all you have to do then is you just have to produce more content. That's it. All of your hard work is done. Now all you have to do is feed the beast, keep on producing content. The content will keep on producing leads. You will keep on selling to the leads will buy, and on and on. So it's kind of like a self-fulfilling cycle. So I hope I've been of help to you guys. I hope that you found this video actionable. I hope that someone out there sees social media a bit clearer. This has been Devin from Neptune Design. I'm going to leave this template, this guide. I'm going to put a link below where you guys can reach it. And guys, subscribe to the channel, like if you like this video, And thank you very much just for watching and spending this hour with me. Now, we do social media strategy and social media marketing, and we run a full strategy workshop, and it entails all of this good stuff that I showed you here. So I hope you guys really got value from it, and I guess I'll chat to you guys soon. Have a great one.